are the three things that Kaizer Chiefs needs to fix going forward, and if they fix this, they will be truly untouchable. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakhosi Football Club, starting with the plan that they had against SuperSport United. If you look at the team, you will see that it's still the same back two, and then the flat four in front of them, then the two people in front of them, and then the two people up front, which ends up looking like a 2-4-2-2 with a box midfield. But SuperSport were like, hey, dudes, we saw you do this last week, so we are going to stop it. So what did they do? They pressed with a 4-4-2. But if you look at the second line of the four people who are pressing, you will see that they are quite narrow. So what are they doing? They're trying to make sure that they are blocking all the passes into the midfield of Kaizer Chiefs, but at the same time, the wide players, the right and left midfielder, are also ready to jump on the left back if they receive the ball, or the right back if he receives the ball as well. So that was the thing that SuperSport United were doing. And what did Kaizer Chiefs think? They were like, it looks like this is going to be a bit problematic, because with the two strikers blocking our way into the midfield, and you also have their midfielders blocking midfield. What did they do then? They were like, we're just going long. So Kaizer Chiefs kept on just playing those long balls over and over and over again above the press. And that was not effective at all. And one player was very ineffective in this game was Sereno. What happened to Sereno in that game against SuperSport United? Well, I will tell you, it goes back to the shape. But on top of that, they were passing him around like a hot potato in men marking him. If you look at this clip, you'll see that, number one, it's Moby marking him. He's following him around like, hey, if you dare give this guy a ball, I will be there. If it drifts into midfield, someone else jumps on Sereno. So they made sure that the person who makes Kaizer Chiefs stick doesn't get the ball. And he was very ineffective in the entire game, and he ended up being taken off. The thing is though, Kaizer Chiefs could have done better. In fact, they did do better, and we're going to look at how they did this and what they did wrong that made them end up looking like they were ineffective. But before we talk about that, let us reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Subscribe to the channel, and if you're a returning viewer, like the video and share it with your friends. Danko. Let's look at the problem number 2, which was the fact that as much as Kaizer Chiefs had a good structure, which they could have utilized much better, they chose to just say, screw that. Because if we go back to the graphic that we started with, you see that the SuperSport press is quite narrow, right? And they're trying to make sure that we don't play through the middle. But the system of Kaizer Chiefs is built in such a way that, hey, we can exploit this. For example, if you look at Frosler, he's out wide. So Frosler can receive the ball. What will happen? One of the strikers or one of the midfielders will jump onto him and try to press him. That's where the double pivots come in, because one of them drops closer to Frosler to receive the ball from him, which will draw someone closer to them as well to mark. And when that does happen, that means Abo Totally are now free to receive the ball in midfield, and they can play the ball because now there will be spaces. But the Chiefs, from time to time, they chose to go long. But let me show you what happened when Kaizer Chiefs actually did do this. They were able to play the ball in the middle when Shabalala played that combination 1-2 with Sereno. The few moments where we saw Sereno, they played the 1-2, and then Sereno chips the ball from 2. He takes a shot. It's over the goal. But it didn't end there. We saw it again with Utuba, and he was in a situation where they play Ama 1-2, they play Ama passes patiently, if I may add. And then Utuba just decided to have a back pass and pass the ball back to the keeper. So there were these moments where you clearly saw that the system works, but now we are failing to do the final thing, either the shooting or just placing the ball into the right place in the net. And you also see this in the second half, that even when Chiefs did play, look at what happened in the same situation with Uranga. We're playing the ball, he gets the ball, and then he shoots. If you look around him, there are still options. They could have still left the ball and made a run, and then we play the ball around or over the defense of SuperSport because we're closer to their box. They are panicking. We can get something. But what does Ranga do? He takes a shot and he misses. It's not just him. You see him too as well, trying to force a wide pass so that we get crosses. Crosses that were not effective in, by the way, because our players are much smaller compared to SuperSport United players. So Mdu forces the ball across, it doesn't work. You see it again with Mfundo Vilagazi, he's shooting, but he's not really in the right way of shooting. but in his defense, he did get a shot on target, so I can defend him. And Samukelo Zwane, same thing. He shoots, he misses. And while we're here, I just want to say this. Back in September, when Chiefs were playing against Marumo Gallants, their very first game, I saw Abo Samukelo, not just him, taking shots at goal when they were doing their shooting drills. About the shot that he missed against this team, SuperSport United, it was the same way that it was missing in September. Now, this is a thing that I'm saying with so much love. Are these guys not practicing shooting drills? Because if you are the same end of October as you were beginning of or mid-September, that means your technique, you are not really working on it that much. Because if Amakhosi does the same thing and they sit deep, what do you do then? Because you need to have a plan to shoot outside from the box and get the balls on target. When we speak about target, we talk about someone who has been able to find the net, and that is Edson Castillo. Because I want to talk about why we need Edson Castillo and how Chiefs lost the game the moment he went out. Why is Castillo so special? Well, he showed us when he first came to Kaizer Chiefs. How did he show us this? By the fact that he is always that player who's making runs into the box. We saw him just against SuperSport last week, that pass he played for Dupree. He has a pass on him as well. So that makes him very capable in terms of being able to play the pass either from afar or also when he's in the final third. Or if he's not passing the ball, he's the one who's making late runs into the box. And the nice thing is, since he's starting so deep, he's usually not even monitored. And when he arrives into the box, he's heading the ball either being a free man, or when he's arriving, he causes defenders to actually do something to him. Unfortunately, this time around, he got fouled in the box and the ref did not say anything. And did you see what happened after that? The game was just not there. And I know people will rush to say, oh, it's smart this and it's smart that. Here's the thing. I agree with the fact that Mart was not the right substitute to be made after Castillo got injured. Because let's look at the heat maps, right? If you look at Njabulo Blom, you see that he's sitting much deeper, right? He's sitting deeper and he just moves around as well into the opponent's half. You look at Samukelo Zwane, he almost does the same thing as Njabulo Blom. You look at Mart, he does the same thing. But out of the three players that I've just counted, the one who does the most effective is Njabulo Blom, because he does not lose the ball, which is something that people complain about with Samukelo, with Umart. And then defensively, he's better than Umart no Samukelo. But if you look at Edson Castillo, he's different to the rest of them. Because he also makes runs into the box. And you see his heat map, he also has a lot of box entrances. There is a red there in the opponent's box. Because Castillo does not just offer you the defensive part of the game, or even in terms of Blom, where he gives you control, but it also gives you the defense. Yes, he gives you the control when you're playing the ball, but also gives you the goal threat going forward. So if you ask me today and say, Mpilo, if everyone is fit at Kaizer Chiefs, who are you starting? I'll raise my hand and say, Njabulo Blom, he will be solid and protect the defenders, and Edson Castillo would still be able to be creative, but also be a goal threat going forward. But what do you guys think? What do you think Chiefs needs to fix going forward? Do let me know down in the comment section below. And remember, we are going for 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's work together and reach that goal. And like the video if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, Khosi at Pelumo.